Hey everyone, this is Mr. Everything, and in this video I'm going to do an unboxing and post-installation overview of this ESR glass screen protector. This is for the brand new 2024 iPad Pro M4. It's something I feel like it's just such a thin device. I just recently got the Magic Keyboard for it, but it feels like it needs all the protection it can get. And for this price point, I mean, it's crazy to have to keep putting more money into it, but it's something that I wanted to go a better screen protector. It's, it's different when you have a cell phone. You can go to Walmart or practically any store and get replacements, but I had to get this directly from Amazon. And ESR has been a company I've used some of their cases. I like their kickstand and stuff I've used on my phones. And there's also Spigen, and a lot of times for screen protectors I'll also just get the Walmart on brand. It just depends. But the first thing I'm noticing is this graphic. The cutout is for the old iPads because the new ones put the camera here, so this cutout, I'm assuming just the packaging hasn't been updated yet, because there's a lot of other reviews of people that bought it for this, and I don't know if any have said that there wasn't a correct cutout. Now, the main reason I'm going with this is for the application, like correct fit tray. I basically always will pay a little more to have that. It just makes it so much easier. And a lot of, I think probably just all the reputable brands do include a fitment tray. So, get the packaging out. Now, you do get two, so I guess really it's just if you mess it up. I mean, there's always a chance that it'll break on the device, but I had a screen protector on my last iPad Pro, and I mean, it never got chipped, it never got scratched, especially when it's a tablet, not a phone. It's not going in and out of your pocket and everything. So, even if you mess up one, you have a backup, and hopefully you would never need to have another one beyond that. You do get a QR code here. And one thing I am going to mention right now before I go any further is I probably won't film myself putting this on. I'm going to show how it works and set it up, tell you how I'm going to clean it, and give a few tips on it. But I'm going to do it off camera. And I know sometimes people get mad about that, or you didn't even show it. So, if that's upsetting to you, then I guess just skip the video or click off of it now. But, when you're doing it, chances are you're not recording a video too. And to just try and get all that, I really want to make sure I don't get dust or anything. I want to make sure I got all the screen wiped off. When you do it, you want to put it on quick. You don't want to let dust fall back on it if you're picky about that. Some people, they'll be like, here's an air bubble because there's a piece of dust, and here's this and that and a hair, and they don't care. But I want to kind of demonstrate this under the best conditions possible. And for everyone, it's going to be different. Your air quality, your environment, and your prep work. So I'm going to show as much of it as I can and then come back with the finished result. But let's go ahead and keep going in. Now, this one, I like how they're doing this. Looks like the tray is more or less designed to stay in this whole piece here. So your first glass screen protector, let me just get this out of the way for right now. Your first glass screen protector is already installed. Okay, so it's even more simple. I thought maybe you'd have to attach it to this, but this just must pop out, and then you'll pop the next one in. So if this goes well and I can just use this one, I'll just remove that and pop this one in, and then it'll end up sitting in my closet until I need it. And one thing I should draw attention to is this is in fact for the the new iPad, because you can see the cutouts in the landscape orientation. Now, this is kind of flimsy. I don't want it to crack because it's a 13-inch, so it's a little bit bigger and holding it. So let me go ahead and set this somewhere where it's out of the way and won't get damaged. And I guess this would just kind of help align it. And then I mean, if you've done a screen protector in a kit before, there's usually some type of thing that you swipe. And it's really the fitment. Once you have it in there, it usually goes well. It's just cleaning it and making sure there's no dust on it if you don't want air bubbles or to see trapped dust. So you get two cleaning kits. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this. I'll open it and see what's in it. But I really like This, it works a little better than rubbing alcohol. I think it streaks leather. It must be better drying or something. And a really good microfiber that's not too worn out, doesn't have too much dust in it. It's a lot of times when you wipe a black screen when it's off, you can see that you're rubbing more dust in it, even though you're taking off the smudges. So you either need a new one or one that's just really good and doesn't leave behind traces of dust. Now the dust removal stickers are nice. Those can come in handy. And I'll say this too. You know, when they give you these, they're useless. If you're going to use it one time to clean your device, but sometimes these will leave behind lint too, even though they're brand new. When they're this little and flimsy, you know, I would like a nice big one. Every now and then you'll get one that will give you that to where you can use it going forward. But I don't find this will be one I'll use too much. And these are nice too, the dust removal stickers. I guess you would use them before you put the screen protector on, but what I like to do is if I get a little something like right here, you might be able to lift it back up. You can't put your finger in because you'll break it or get smudge on it. But you can get this little piece of a sticker like tape and slide in it, and it'll pick up that dust and slide it back out. And the last thing I'll say is with this one this big, it's going to be really hard to pick it back up. On a phone, you can usually peel a corner and get it to unadhere for some of the device, but you pull too far, you'll crack it, or you'll get an air bubble or something, or mess up the adhesive and get a smudge in it. To where something this big, you want to peel it up, you're probably going to crack it. So it's not something, if I get a little piece of dust trapped in, it's not too bad. I'm just going to have to live with it. And the first thing I noticed is this is basically just a spacer. This has to come out, and the iPad sits down in it, which makes it much more sturdy. It's not moving at all now, so you know you're going to get that direct fitment. And then you can see here some of the air pockets, or like where you can keep some tension on it when you peel it off, keep it pressed down onto it. Now, before I do this, like a few of the tips I'll do is I like to, you'll observe it when you clean it, you're going to look while it's off and see if there's any dust, any smudges, get those wiped off. Then, to find like any little pieces of dust or lint remaining, I like to get a pure white background. So I'll go on, you could probably even do a screenshot of just something white, or download a white JPEG or something. Make it the full size of the screen, and then you can alternate. So I'll keep that on, see if there's any little dark specks, wipe them off, turn the screen off, which is going to be hard to do with this because the power button's blocked. So you could touch it, but you don't want to put a smudge on it. So that'll be a little finicky. That's why I'm doing it off camera. So the next thing I'm going to do is clean this up and then try it and come back. And the other tip is I like to try that with in the bathroom, running some water to put some moisture in the air. First off, the bathroom is generally a smaller space than wherever you're going to be doing this at. There's probably less bedding and carpeting and stuff, less things getting stirred up. And if you get enough moisture in there, if you run some water to get steam on the windows, that can help again add moisture and take out dust flying around in the air. But with that being said, I did my last phone I got, I had like 4 screen protectors until I got it to where there wasn't any dust under it, which was really weird. And then I did one just in here and on a Legion Go 7-inch screen. And I didn't even do that one too quick. I kind of just wiped it, set it on, got it perfectly aligned with no tray, no dust underneath. So it can be hit or miss, but that's just another tip too. So I'm going to go ahead, prep this as good as I can, and then I might come back once it's laid on there and there's nothing else I can change, and then do the final peel to show how it works. Okay, so what you missed was basically just me in the bathroom, which again, I just think that's a better environment, but I could be wrong. But I cleaned it, and I took this off. You can pop this off just so I wasn't trying to like hold it and worry about it falling or unpeeling. And again, this is what I meant with the white screen. It's something you probably can't, there's probably just not enough detail on camera. A lot of these specs, I think, are on this top cover. You can see I'm downloading some wallpapers, but they're not on the screen itself. So I use that to kind of verify that after I wipe it with the screen off. Then, once I installed this piece back on, there's a tab here. So you peel this up to lift the whole thing off. You get the peel tab, pull it off. Again, it's tricky. You could mess it up, especially if you haven't done them before, and the bigger your screen, the more complicated it gets. But, see, let me actually, see, I'm getting all, because I still have the screen on, it's registering the touch through it. But I'm going to go ahead and just push all over. Now some people will complain that they get bubbles. Actually, I can just close out of that. I usually can get rid of the bubbles pretty easily. And let's take it out of the alignment tray. And I know there's been a lot of talking and stuff, but I'm telling you, like, when I read these reviews, people just are so picky about them. They want them, you know, no bubbles, no dust, you know, nothing. And you can see here there's a couple of bubbles, and I'll show you how. This is one of the uses for this. You can kind of push them out. You can use a credit card or something, but I really just like to use my finger with just this to kind of help it slide better. And the only thing I'm seeing, as you can see here, is a little piece of dust, maybe some there. If that's dust and not bubbles, I might try and peel that corner up. It'll be one of those things I'll do off camera. But you can see how I'm just trying to work that bubble out. You can see it's moving, so it's not going to stay in there. People will give it a bad review and say, you know, it's well, I mean, it's not perfect, but the fact that there's just like a bubble here and two, that one will come out so easy. And these ones, I'm going to make this look good, but I'm going to touch it up a little more off camera. Okay, so I'm back, and surprisingly on this first install, I think I got it on here perfectly. I did have to do quite a bit of work off camera. That's why I don't record it. It would take, you know, how would you record it? You got to get like, you know, eye to eye with this thing. What the method I use, and again, do this at your own risk. It's something that comes with experience, and I'm sure I'm not doing it correctly. But say like I did have a few little specks, little pieces of dust. If you get your fingernail, and mine are pretty short here, you don't want to use like a knife or something, because you'll cut the adhesive and then it'll never adhere again there. So I've found that my fingernail, you could try a suction cup, but again, on something this big, you pull it and put too much force, you're probably going to crack that glass. I peel it, you just peel a wee little bit and you'll see it come undone. That's just enough room to get this one. This one's a little bit easier because it's smaller. You slip it underneath, you'll see it, and you pull it out. It's kind of an art in itself. It's hard to do. And but I did get one here, and I was able to wedge this bigger one in here. But for the most part, if you get something in here, you're in no man's land. To peel that much back off, it's really hard to feed that sticker under there. Then to get it unadhered without pulling it anymore, cracking it, or and one other thing you'll notice, if you pull too far off, it'll come undone, you'll misalign it, and you'll ruin it. You know, it's something that comes with experience, and if you can just live with it, if you get a little couple specks, maybe if they're here, you're better off just leaving them there, and or you just start with a new one because you're gonna have a headache over it. And one thing I'll mention too on this is, even if there are some imperfections, almost always, you know, after a day or a week or a month, you're never gonna think of them again. You're not gonna care, and this will do its job. It'll probably get a scratch or something in it, and you really won't care then either. So sometimes it's something you got to tell yourself. But I was able to get all of them out that I can see. The only imperfection, which you can't there, you can see those two little dots. That's from my fingernail. That's where I kind of pushed the adhesive back a little bit. So that's why you don't want to do it too many times. Now, I don't think I'm going to get an air pocket there. Usually you don't. But the more you peel these corners up, the quicker they are that they'll have a defect. I think the alignment goes without saying. It is basically perfect. That's on the ESR. That, that doesn't really have anything to do with me. So it's a good alignment. You do get your cutouts here for your microphone, camera, face ID, and I think an ambient sensor. But I think there's also a sensor in one of these. When I was filming this with this extra light on it, I think I noticed a cutout. And go off to the side here. Again, on a white background, I couldn't observe anything. So if there is anything, even I don't think I will notice it, as picky as I am. So I think I can live with it. And one thing I'll notice, I only had this for like 12 hours or a little over 16, 18. It was getting a lot of smudges, fingerprints, and they were like real just heavy looking. And I think these have a better, like they feel more smooth and watery, to where I think the actual glass is a little bit more sticky. It kind of retains that smudge better. Where this, I don't know if it's oleophobic. You can check the specs on this device or on the listing for what you're getting, all the jargon. And you can see here, I got the Armorite. There's one below it. And I figured if for as much money as this costs, and if it's anything like my last one, it'll be a one and done. That once it's on here, I probably won't have to replace, so I'll pay a little bit more up front. For me, this install went well. Some people said those Armorite ones had issues to get the lower tier one, the flawless fit. But then I saw some that said the exact opposite. They had problems, and that this one's a little bit thicker or something, so it kind of laid down and felt bubbles better. I don't know. Again, I really think it comes down to prep work. A lot of talking, but it's something that I can just provide you the absolute best advice in all the different tips and tricks that I try to get this to work. But in the end, it came out nicely. I'm happy with it. And as an added bonus, you go ahead and get the magic keyboard that I just got for it. I don't think this will impede how it closes. It surely shouldn't. But yeah, there's ever so slightly of a gap, so it must be designed to not put. See that? See, like right above my thumb, there is that you can see the white background through it. They must have designed it to where they don't actually touch each other. Yeah, you can see it right where my fingernail on my index finger on the left here. There's a little gap, and that even that screen protector isn't touching this keyboard. So you're paying the big bucks for stuff like this, but they had it all thought out, so they did give you a little bit of a gap. There's actually probably enough of a gap that you could fit 2 screen protectors. Not that you would, but I mean, they did provide that. So that should allow a nice wide array of screen protectors on here without affecting how it opens and closes. And there it is. Almost $2,000. You definitely want to take care of it. And I have the extra screen protector. This is the used one. I'll pop that out and pop the other one in, so if I ever need to replace it, or when time goes by and it comes time to sell all this, they'll get a free screen protector when I sell this. So I'll leave it there. It was a good install. I know it was a lot of talking again, but hopefully I can help someone do it right if you're hesitant about it. That was the Armorite ESR one. It went on for me. It's just the only hassle you'll run into is if you want to be picky about trying to get the dust off the screen if there's any on it. So thanks for watching, and you'll see me in the next one. Have a good one.